I want to break free. I want to break free. Just when I thought I couldn't get any fatter. Hi, great angle here. Hey, what's up you guys? Shri here, back at it again with my potato I'm shooting at because I'm poor. I'm here because I really want to talk about a movie I watched that I was looking forward to for a long time, and I didn't even know it was released yet. Like, Netflix just dropped the bomb that they're releasing the third part of the Cloverfield series, and I was like, what? Because I have been a fan of the Cloverfield movies for a long time now. When the first Cloverfield movie came out, I was like, this is just gonna be just like another teen drama, I don't know what, probably some friends who do stupid shit and then, you know, monsters find them. But it blew my mind. It was so different and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've watched that movie multiple times after that. And then 10 Cloverfield Lane came out. I had no idea like that was like a sequel to the first Cloverfield, and then someone recommended it to me, and then I watched it and I enjoyed it because it was just so different from the first Cloverfield, and yet it was set in the same universe, and I was just like thoroughly impressed with the series, and I couldn't wait for the third movie to come out, and I was patiently waiting for it, and then Netflix just dropped the nuke that they were releasing this movie, and I was like, wow, I'm so ready to watch this movie. And I watched the movie. By my reaction, I think you might be pretty certain that I didn't enjoy this movie. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's like the worst movie ever made, but it's pretty much right up there, you know? And so I was really pissed, and I ate a lot of McDonald's because of that, which I'm not proud about. And I was like, nope, my night cannot end like this. I'm not gonna end my night on such a shitty note, waiting for a movie I've been waiting for a long time, only for it to disappoint me like Justice League did. So I just scoured through Netflix. I was like, what else is there? What else is there in the horror category? And I, being a horror hoe, I couldn't just end my note on a shitty horror movie like that. So, fortunately, I came across this movie called The Ritual. Now, I had no idea about this movie. I never watched the trailer or anything. And then I was like, what the hell? Maybe this could be another bad one. Who knows? I'm just gonna watch it, you know, just for the sake of it. So that my night does not end with the Cloverfield Paradox. Sorry. So, I did watch the movie The Ritual. And I couldn't get more pissed. I was more pissed because of the fact at how good it was and how the Cloverfield Paradox missed its mark and how it could have been so much better. And this other movie that nobody has heard about, that the actors are probably, I think there's like just one actor I recognize from other British movies. Other than that, these 5 actors in total, they did such a brilliant job of convincing me of how real the situation they were facing was, instead of like Cloverfield Paradox with all its Paramount Pictures money not being able to just do anything for me. So I understand that this video might be coming off as like a rant video, but it kind of is. I'm not gonna apologize for it. I'm sorry, I'm just like really hot right now. It's India, and you know India is hot, and so I'm like really trying to, oh, whatever, sorry. Okay, where was I? Yeah. Okay, so after finishing both the movies, I really decided that like I should make a video about what I really liked about The Ritual and what really lacked in the Cloverfield Paradox. Paradox? Yeah, the Cloverfield Paradox. It was supposed to be called the God Particle, but then they changed it to the Cloverfield Paradox, so whatever. But I really want to make this video highlighting where Cloverfield Paradox missed the mark and where The Ritual did it right. Okay, so the first point that I want to highlight between the two movies is the backstory. So the Cloverfield Paradox starts with this main actress who is sitting in a car contemplating her mission out of Earth, and just she needs to get out there with her crew and fire this thing into space because it's too dangerous to fire it on Earth. So her and her crew have a mission to find a sustainable, renewable resource of energy because the Earth is running out of sources of energy. It's literally dying. So they go there up on this mission, and we can kind of already discern that the main character is kind of struggling with something that she is not able to accept, kind of. So we can kind of see her internal struggle coming out when she's like watching old footage of her and her kids playing and her talking with her husband, and it's kind of like, you know, something is wrong in there. So we know that there's something wrong, but I couldn't feel it until the very end of the movie. And they only kind of, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched this movie, click out of this video. They only tell us right in the end, like very close to the end, that probably in the third act of the movie, that she lost her children because of something that she did, which she didn't realize could have potential catastrophic consequences. She didn't know that, and she lost her kids, and therefore she is now in this space mission just to escape and avoid all of it. We couldn't feel the impact of that backstory up until the very last moments of the film. And it didn't do anything for me. I couldn't feel her pain. And for her to just like decide that, oh, I'm gonna go in this alternate dimension planet just to see my faux kids, who aren't mine, by the way, who belong to this other woman who looks like me. It kind of feels like my twin sister's children, who aren't mine. Like, they're not her children. So for her to make this out of character decision just pissed me off. Whereas in The Ritual, they do it very well. They show us the internal conflict of the main character right at the beginning of this movie. Like, they show him just being this just normal everyday guy at the bar, hanging out with his friends, planning a hiking trip. When they go into this liquor store to buy some vodka, his friend gets into trouble and his friend is about to be just mugged, and our main protagonist just hides in the corner, cowering in fear. And we kind of see him just understanding how cowardly what he's doing is, and he's kind of struggling whether or not he should enter himself into this conflict and be the hero and save his friend. But when he actually sees his friend getting bashed in the face and dying, he's sort of like, we kind of understand that this is a point where our character is going to be changed forever. He's going to have to live with this moment of cowardice for the rest of this movie, or for the rest of his life, however you want to see it. And that is fantastic. We already have built this snapshot connection with this character, whereas with the other character in the Cloverfield Paradox, we don't actually feel it. We're not there with her. But with him, we're right there. We're like, we get you, bro. You know, if we were there, we probably wouldn't play hero either. And if our friend dies, we're gonna have to live with that shit. That is deep, and that is just absolute mind-boggling stuff that most people deal with in their lives. And I think that was a very good note to start the movie, which the Cloverfield Paradox missed by a long shot. Okay, so the second point I want to highlight in both these movies is logic. Now, it's a very tricky thing to deal with when it comes to horror movies. Logic and horror movies don't go hand to hand, especially when you're dealing with like paranormal, supernatural stuff. And even in sci-fi horror, which I want to place the Cloverfield Paradox in, even in sci-fi horror, it's really hard to place rules of logic into the story structure. But even if you can't apply logic pertaining to rules of physics or biology, you still have to apply some rules within the framework of your story for it to actually make somewhat of a sense. People have to piece together the story, or it's like all over the place. So the Cloverfield Paradox has a very interesting concept within itself. It's about two alternate dimensions juxtaposed and fighting within each other to exist in the same frame. And that's brilliant. That's something that could fuck up anybody. And that was, I think that was really well done in the television show Fringe. If anybody has watched it, you know what I'm talking about. When like two parallel universes collide and everything just goes awry, everything just goes haywire, shit hits the fan, someone gets stuck on a wall or something. Oh no, I remember. Someone gets merged and their face crawls out like a boob. I remember that. That kept me up for 3 nights, okay? If a TV show can do it right, then so can a big budget movie. I at least expect that. But no, they just went all over the place with their rules. Nothing made sense. It was an idiotic movie. They could have done so much with the concept, but they just like chose to just, I don't know, throw the rule book out of the place. If you're making a horror movie or a sci-fi movie or a sci-fi horror movie, then you have to place some rules within the framework so that we can at least understand like, oh, that's happening. But logic went out the window, science went out the window, physics went out the window. At the same time, the story went out the window too. By the end of this movie, I was like, what am I watching? And why am I watching it? It was so much entertaining up until the point where that guy puked out some bugs. After that, everything just went like pfft. Now the ritual though, it was dealing with something way beyond logic and reasoning. It was dealing with fucking Norse mythology. It was dealing with the bastard child of Loki. How can that movie do it better than the Cloverfield Paradox? I mean, come on. The ritual did the horror element of a creature perfectly. It built the tension really well. The music was perfect. They didn't show the demon to us until, I won't call it a demon, I would call it a creature. They didn't show us the creature, just parts of it, which we can't possibly like visualize perfectly, but at some instances it seemed like a tree. It seemed like a tree was moving, which was creepy as hell, by the way. If you actually witness a tree moving, run away, run the fuck away. We have tormented trees for a long time, and that would be karma coming back to you. Like, hell, sister, run. But honestly though, like, it was one of the best ways to build tension. And I also bought the other characters' internal conflict when they were dealing with this creature, because nobody understood what the hell was going on. And when they actually showed the creature, it was so, first of all, I have to point it out, it was so aesthetically gorgeous and terrifying at the same time. Whoever created that creature, props to you, man. I couldn't understand whether it was a man, whether it was a four-handed man, whether it was a horse, whether it was a moose. It looked like all those things merged into what? It truly was a bastard child who was deformed in every single way. It screwed me up. Oh my god. Okay, so the third point I want to talk about is the conflict between the other characters, especially the supporting characters. Now, the ritual versus the Cloverfield Paradox, they both had the same scenario where a group of people, 4 to 5 characters that were revolving around our main character, were struggling within a confined space, or you can say a place that is truly like a maze, lost in time and space. And they were struggling to get out of it. They were struggling to find their way home. Both movies had the same concept and the same scenario for the other characters to struggle with. Now, when I was watching the Cloverfield Paradox at the initial moments, when the opening credits started, it was showing the days, like the passing days from like day 16 to day 90 to day 220 to day 600 something. And I was like, oh my god, can you imagine a group of people stuck in the same like Big Brother house for 2 years? Can you even imagine that? I can't even deal with like 90 days of that shit. But 2 years, more than 2 years, I was like building myself up for conflicts and like like fights and struggles and politics and like backstabbings and friends turning on each other stuff in the Cloverfield Paradox. I didn't get that at all. I didn't understand what the conflict was happening. When the first conflict happened between, I think it was the Russian guy and the German guy, when that happened, I actually enjoyed that. I was like, oh, maybe this movie is more than just science stuff. Maybe this movie is more than just getting lost in space, but it's about like true character building. And true character building comes from what the characters are going through positively and negatively, which 10 Cloverfield Lane did perfectly. Like, the tension that you could see with these 3 characters in one room was more perfect than this entire space whatever crew. I just didn't buy it, I just didn't get it, and afterwards it kind of like seemed silly at some point, and nobody was really fighting with each other, which they should have, rightfully so. And then this character came out of nowhere, this woman character, and she started killing everybody. I don't know why, I don't even care why, I forgot. It's not even important for me to remember. So yeah, I didn't buy it. Whereas in the ritual though, oh my god. Like, I bought every single second of these guys. Like, I'm not gonna call it a perfect movie. In any way, it is not a perfect movie. But the way these characters were struggling with what they were going through, with the environment that they were thrown at involuntarily because they thought it was a shortcut. From the very beginning, when the protagonist started to struggle with the fact that he didn't help his friend and he kept seeing these flashbacks, and from the other characters, from the moment that shit happened in that like cabin or something, I don't know what it was, but from the moment that guy pissed himself and the other guy just bowed butt-ass nude to that fig thing, I was like, oh my god, things are gonna get really Blair Witchy here. I am not ready for this, but I was just so much invested in it. And I don't understand why the Cloverfield Paradox couldn't do that. These guys were clearly just not right in the head about getting lost in the woods, about witchcraft surrounding them, about this creature following them, and everything was done in such a well coordinated manner that when these guys fought with each other, I really, really bought it. Like, it was like building up like a volcano, and when it erupted, especially between the guy who broke his leg versus our protagonist. It was just the perfect thing to watch. I was like, yeah, wait, if I had a bruised ankle, which I did a few days ago, and I had to walk on it for how long, I couldn't even remember, and it's turning yellow, pus is coming out, and my friend who is a coward is with me, I'm gonna take my anger out on him. I don't even care. It probably isn't even his fault that we're lost, but I'm still gonna take my anger out on him. That's human nature. That's basic, like, anger. When it comes out, it explodes everywhere. And with the other characters too, when they started to like scatter, when their minds started to scamper and they were not thinking straight, I really bought it. And especially even the character that came out, like, I would call her a subplot character, but she was there when he was captured within that cult, and she was the only one who spoke English within that tribe of crazy people who worship this goat monster. And even her internal struggle of just swallowing everything that was happening around her and just dealing with it and just accepting it instead of, like, you know, rebelling, because there's no point in rebelling. I even understood her struggle, whereas I couldn't get anything that was happening in Cloverfield Paradox. I didn't care. I was like, you know what I mean? I'm way too angry about one movie than I should have. Overall, I'm really angry that so much potential was lost in one movie. So many great actors were there. Zhang Ziyi was there, man. She is my favorite Asian actress. And even she couldn't do anything with this film. I don't even think it was her fault. I think it was the script's fault. I don't even understand. Like, and there were all these other actors too, which I saw them in different movies, and even they couldn't do anything with it. They just had to like, just act, and I don't know, like, I'm not happy with what I saw. The Ritual, though, I'm just gonna give it like 4 out of 5 or whatever the hell movie reviewers give them, but I'm gonna give that movie props because, and I really want all of you guys to watch it as well. It's a really good movie. Miss out on the Cloverfield Paradox if you haven't watched it. Like, that movie is ass. I don't know, now I'm really pissed and really sad that I'm not looking forward to the 4th Cloverfield movie because the logic doesn't make sense and the timeline doesn't make sense anymore because the monster is now like higher than the stratosphere and probably ate the protagonist's ass when she dropped headfirst into the ground. She's probably fodder now for him. So yeah, I don't understand. Like, I'm sorry. This was like a big ass rant, and you guys don't deserve this. But really, I really want to know what you guys thought about the Cloverfield Paradox and what you guys thought about the Ritual, and leave in the comments below. Seriously though, I really want to know. I'm not joking around. What did you think about the Cloverfield Paradox, and what, if you found any problems with it, what are they, and how do you think it could have been better? Because personally, I'm not, like, this movie is not The Room for me. It was not bad all throughout. I felt that this movie was really good and could have been so much better if they didn't start screwing up from like Act 2 or something. So I really want to know in the comments below, what do you think this movie was like terrible at, and how it could have been better? And what would you have done had you directed or written it? And how would you have changed this movie with this concept? And if you enjoyed the Cloverfield Paradox, let me know why you enjoyed it and what did you like about this film. I really want to have a discussion here. And yeah, also talk about the Ritual if you have watched it. If not, I really want you to watch it. And leave in the comments below if there is any other movies you want me to watch, if there's any movie comparisons you want me to do. If there's any other movies and TV shows or anything you want me to talk about, you can leave in the comments below. And I'm really new here, so clicking the subscribe button is really gonna help. I make new videos every week, so you can click the bell icon and you can watch any of my other videos. And if you like this video of me shooting on this great, gorgeous potato, give it a like. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you later. Bye-bye. Hi, Shri here. What's up? Oh my god, that's cancer. Wait. Oh my god. Oh my god, where am I? What the fuck am I sitting on? But I'm here because I really want to... they're just fighting to be... that are just... Like, I'm not gonna say it's a perfect movie, but from the second... Like, so after finishing both the movies, fucking cars, man. What?